Hello, my name is Josh Liparati, and I'm a Senior Product Manager inside of Microsoft Teams Engineering. Our team owns some of the common engineering supported open source app templates that we develop and build features upon based on customer feedback and ways that we can improve and see new experiences light up inside of Microsoft Teams. One of our areas and one of our app templates is the champion management platform, which today we'll dive into the installation and customization of this app template. So without further ado, let's jump in. You can see right now I'm on the champion management platform page on our Microsoft adoption site. From this site, I can get to the GitHub repo and all the other information I would need to deploy. This site can be accessed at aka.ms/m365cmp. So let's jump into it. From here, I'm going to click on Get Solution to take me into our GitHub repo for the Champion Management Platform. Here, I can see the solution being published. Again, we do open source these solutions. So if you wanted to take and modify the code, add your own customization in, fully able to do that, fully expect that some may want to do that. You can also just take our standard solution as is and deploy and use some limited or some more limited customization options. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to go with a standard deployment where we're not making those customizations. So what I would do is I would come into here, go to the SharePoint solution folder, and I'm going to select the cmp.sppkg file. That's our SharePoint framework package file. And this is the one that I'm going to download to then go and import into our Microsoft 365 environment. So we've got this file, cmp.sppkg. I'm going to select download. All right, that's downloaded. So in just a moment, I will go and grab that. Let's now go and switch into our tenant. So I am now in a Microsoft 365 tenant. This is my test environment. So I'm going to show what the upload process and deployment process now looks like for that file we downloaded. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is log in as an admin and browse out to the SharePoint Admin Center. So I'm going to click on Admin here. It's going to take me to the overall admin portal, Microsoft 365 Admin Center. I'm going to click Show All, and then I'm going to go down to SharePoint underneath Admin Centers. Once I'm in the Admin Center for SharePoint, the next thing I'm going to want to go and do is upload that package we just downloaded. So for that, I need to go to our app catalog. So I'm going to click on More Features, and I'm going to select Open underneath Apps. If you haven't created an app catalog yet, or you don't have other apps that have been published, this will create it for the first time. If you already have applications published, you'll see them listed here. So for this environment, we don't have any. So the first thing I want to do is go select Upload. I'm then going to select that file we just downloaded. So I'll pick that cmp.sppkg file. And in a moment, when this finishes uploading, we're going to see a pane that gives us some additional information. So right now, the package is uploading into SharePoint. I can see that it's been uploaded, but I need to make some choices now based on the status of this app. So a few things, right? This is letting me know that this app is going to get data from SharePoint. There's a few API access permissions that we'll have to enable in a secondary step after this. And then I can enable this app just for, or I can enable just this app, or I can enable this app and go ahead and add it to sites and add it to teams, which is ultimately what we want to be able to do. So I'm going to keep this selected. I'm going to go ahead and let it be added to teams. What that means is that I can enable users to find and discover this app from the app catalog in Microsoft Teams. So we're going to go ahead and select Enable App. In the background, this is going and doing the actions of enabling this application and then syncing it to Microsoft Teams. There's a few other things that I would have to do after this that we're going to step through. One of the main things is enabling those API permissions that you saw that this application needs in order to function. And then as you think about the updates or any upgrades that we provide out for the Champion Management Platform, that process is very similar to this upload process. Whenever we do publish an update, you would come back into the same location and you would select Upload. You'd select the new package file and upload that to upgrade to the latest version. Okay, so we can see that the application was enabled. It's letting me know that I need to go and enable the API access for this application. I can do that now. I could do it later. Let's do it. We'll go ahead and do it now. So I'll select Go to API Access page. That's going to bring me and show me the 2 permissions that were required for this application to run correctly. There we go. So 2 permissions I need to approve: users read write and sites manage all. I will select this and approve, and then select my second one and also approve it. Great. I've now approved the API permissions this application needs. Let's go ahead and close that tab. And we'll select this. So we've uploaded the package, we've synced it to Teams, it's available for Teams now, and we've also gone and done the API permissions that were required to be set. So for all intents and purposes, we are done in the SharePoint Admin Center. Now what we're going to go and do is open up Teams and run the what we call the first run, the first deployment for Champion Management. So to do that, I will close out of these SharePoint Admin tabs. And now I'm back homed in just the Microsoft 365 portal. What I'd like to do now is go and open Teams and see if I can find that app. So I'm going to click on my app launcher. I'm going to go into Teams. This experience, the first run experience, is actually what kicks off the creation of the backend SharePoint site that's needed to store the information for the Champion Management Platform. And it creates that, it sets up the list so that you can start managing the program and some other things. So again, this is just a demonstration tenant. From here, I would go into apps. And great, it says a new app has been added. In just a moment, we'll see. I've got my standard app experience, but also I can see I have the Champion Management Platform available. What's about to happen next is I'm going to select this application, and I'm going to tell it I would like to add it into Teams. I can add it as a left rail app, personal app. I can also add it to a team. You know, a lot of times we see that this application is going to be added to a pre-existing champion team or maybe a new champion team. And you would work within that team to facilitate the champion program that you're looking to stand up. So in this case, right now, we're just going to add it as an app. Let's go ahead and click add. This first run experience, whoever runs this experience, a few things happen on the background. The first thing is we're going to create a SharePoint site. So the person that launches this the first time needs to have the ability to create SharePoint sites. This user will also be loaded as a manager of the platform. So there'll be somebody that can configure and add others later. So great, we can see that the user I'm in has been added as a manager, and the application has been deployed. So I'll select OK on that. I will refresh the app experience. And now I can see that I am getting all of the available actions from the application. It's been deployed successfully. And this user, the mod administrator, is the first person to be added as that manager, the person in the program. So if I were to go look inside of the program at my leaderboard, you're going to see that I'm the only user right now, which is as expected. So actions I've done now, I've completed the sync to SharePoint. I've added the app template there. It synced into Teams so that the application was discoverable and available. And then I did what we call the first run experience. So myself, maybe somebody else that's actually going to own the platform, I would have directed to at least open the application first. Once they do, the backend SharePoint site is created, and I can go and start adding new champions and doing some of the actual app customization I can do in the experience. So let's talk a little bit about what I would do next, right? Because my solution is now deployed. It's available, pretty quick and easy to get it out there and get it deployed. But here's where I would go next, right? So the first thing I would do is, as the manager, I would go and add some new folks into the Champion Management Platform, right? I'm probably either setting this up on behalf of someone, or I would have somebody alongside me that would actually help manage the program. So let's say that Megan is that person. So I'm going to come in here and search for Megan. So Megan is going to be my co-manager for the platform. We have some standard information that we deploy with the application so that you can go and get that information around the champion. You can also customize these fields. So if these aren't the ones you want to show up, you can change this to more deeply reflect what you want to capture for champions. And I'll showcase that in a moment. So I'm just going to go with Megan as a North America, US. We will say that she is an IT pro and her focus area is teamwork. Great. So Megan is now added to the champion platform. What I would want to go do next is actually go look at that list from a SharePoint perspective and change Megan's role. So I'm going to go to champion list. This is going to take me to the SharePoint site that we configured on the back end during that first run experience. And this is also where I would make some of the other app customizations. So you can see here, Megan got added. My first action would go and change Megan from a champion, her role from a champion to a manager. So I'll select Megan. I'm going to go change her from a champion to a manager. Great. So now when Megan logs in, she'll see the same manager aspects at the bottom, the administrative section that I see. So great, Megan's been added. Let's go back and look here. So if I go back and look at the champion leaderboard, I can see Megan is in there. In a moment after this syncs, her profile image will also be brought in. So this will be a rich reflective display. So the other items that I would go and customize from this perspective, there's a few things I could change. I can manage the application logo from within here. We reference a location in SharePoint that you could go and store that icon. So if you want to have it reflect your own organization, the first thing you would do is click on Manage App Logo. That's going to take you to where we store the app logo and where you could go and put in your own application logo. Something to note there is this location will update here in the application itself. It will not change the logo that Teams uses though. So if you want to change that logo, that's actually something in the code that you're going to want to go and modify. You can of course do it. But if you're okay with that logo, then just leave it as a standard logo. So that's one of the first areas you would go and customize. The second and most requested area is around what you saw when I'm capturing this information about my champion. So right, I'm showing region, country, group, and focus area. But let's say region or country isn't really anything I need to capture, and maybe I want to capture building location for country and have that show up here. I can go and change those aspects now. So it's as easy as going out to my champion list and modifying the column name that you see. So we were talking, I think about country, maybe that's my building location. So if I wanted to, right, I could go here and actually go and change this to be building location. So let's change this to be building location. And maybe this is going to be building A, then building B, building C. I can go and modify those. I'll hit save there. I would want to come and change Megan's to not be USA and be building A. So now, if I go back into here, the champion management platform, again, we changed the fields in the column name. When I go back in here and add a member, you can see now that we're picking up the actual column name. So I can change that to be, right, anything I would want it to be. So we allow you to change these three: region, country, which would have been the default value here, or group. Focus area is not changeable. We need a focus area as kind of an anchor. And focus area is really meant to be around, hey, what do they work on? What are they the experts for? Or what are they the champions for? So again, you can change these first three. And you can see here I'm pulling in the values that we updated it with. The other thing I can change about that is maybe you don't want to capture any of those, right? I can go here to admin task and manage these config settings, and I could actually hide any of those too. So maybe I just want to capture their focus area and not worry about capturing the rest. Admin task is where I would go and do and change those aspects. So you can see the ones I can hide there. You can also see this radio button here that's not enabled, where if I wanted to enable the champion's event postings to have to go through a manager approval in the platform, I could do that. By default, when a champion adds an event, It's just auto accept and end, but maybe I want to have a process to say, okay, yes, I see you entered the event. Let me approve it. That's how you would go and enable that in the admin task. Champion activities, that's where you would see that. So let's say you did enable that functionality. Anytime a champion submits something, you would see it listed here, and we can show what that change looks like real quick. So let's enable champion event approval, and I'll show you what that means. Again, we're diving into customization really in this. So I'm going to hit save there. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to my champion leaderboard, and I'm going to record a quick event for today. So let's say I did an office hour event for the Louisiana office. I'm going to go ahead and save this and submit it. So you can see my points did not change yet. That's because we made a customization model change here, where if I go back into the admin task, underneath champion activities, you'll see I actually got a UI notification. There was something new there, and a prompt out to approve whatever this new event was. So, right, I can go approve or reject these now, and now that's been applied. So as I go back and look, I can see the points were awarded. Great. That customization has been modified. So, that's what I would do here underneath the champion activity pane. Manage config settings. We're going to go ahead and turn that back off. And then champion list would be if somebody else wanted to nominate a champion, other than a manager of the platform and they added them in, they would pin approval here. So, right, you can expose this out and let others in the organization sign up. And when they do, you'll see them show up here so that you can approve and add them into the champion management platform. So we talked about managing the app logo. We talked about some of the other customizations around the column names and how you capture in different champions. There's a few other places you would look to add some customizations. The next place you would look is inside of what we call our event list. So the event list is actually what the champions would go and register their completion for. So you can add different point values, descriptions, and if they're active or not. So think about this as, again, the location where you would go and add the unique things that champions go and do. So maybe they do lunch and learns. Maybe they're doing vlogs or instructional videos like this, right? That could be a type of event that they would go and capture their contribution to, and then get rewarded with the point values and points associated with the activities they complete. So you would come in here just like any other list. Again, we build this off of lists to keep it simple and to showcase that power of how you can integrate that with other apps. So right, let's go and add one. We'll add a new event type. We'll call this a lunch and learn. And then we'll say that these are 50 points because there's a lot of effort involved with that. It is active, and this is the champion lunch and learn series. So I'm going to hit save there. We can see I've got a new event type that's been added. So now, right, when champions come into the platform and they go to the champion leaderboard to record a new activity, that would be an option for them to choose from. So you can see, let's say I did a lunch and learn. I did one of those, or actually, I did two of those, and I did those in 2 cities across Louisiana. All right, so I've got some information I captured just to let folks know what this was about. We'll go ahead and submit that. And now that's been submitted. You can see points were automatically awarded because we changed that customization. So back to the default, right? That's how this, if you didn't change anything, would always apply. They would just auto award the points because the champion has come and logged that information in. So that's been completed now. I can see that I can go and add to that event list, kind of span that out, and do a few other things on that. The other area that you would look to modify next is around the digital badges. So one of the more exciting pieces of this is we can award digital swag to our champions and really reward them for the activities they're doing in a fun and unique way. So digital badges is the way we do that. Let's go and look and explain what a digital badge is. So digital badge is a way to kind of put an overlay right on the profile image for the user. So my user does not have a profile image, but it would show me an overlay of what that would look like on top of my image. So you can see right now, I actually have no profile image, but it would have put kind of a little berry on the left-hand side and that Teamwork Champion badge, so that I can be kind of distinguished for that. It's kind of fun. You know, we get a lot of folks that find a lot of value here because you are rewarding and showcasing, right, a little bit of difference, who those champions are, what they've done. Now, we preload that one in there, but we also give you the ability to come down here and customize the badges that are available. So if I go to Manage Digital Badges, you'll see that I've got the digital badge that we have, but you could add your own there as well. And then you could also apply a minimum point value. So, right, you can start to reward based on the points that have been accumulated by the champions, right? So maybe at 100 points, I have a tier 2 badge, or a tier 3 at 400, right? Do all kinds of stuff with that, and I can enable that directly from the list. So it's as easy as just adding a new value here, setting my minimum points, and having that be available. So two other places we're going to talk about real quick. The second to last one is this event track list. Not a lot I would customize here, but a lot that I could come and do from a reporting aspect here. So you can see I'm going to pull in and we're going to write down the values of what's happened for the champions and what they've logged. So I can see the title of the event that has been tracked, who completed it based on the member ID. We're also pulling the name of both the member that's done it, the event location, and whether that's been approved or not. So I can start to do some other actions on this, right? I could customize off of this list, do some Power BI reporting, maybe just an export of it, but I can get and see what my champions have accomplished. The final area that I wanted to talk about is other components inside of the champion management platform. One of those is the tournament of teams. So again, we talked about the installation process and now the customization of champion management platform. Champions are really looking within that program to establish, right, that kind of that home ground, that home center of gravity for the champions to work together in. But then, right, how do we start to think about increasing that to others in the organization? Well, we see that through Tournament of Teams. So within this app, the last thing I could customize is enabling the Tournament of Teams experience. It's disabled by default. There's actually another app template that will provide a video on that talks about deployment of Tournament of Teams, kind of the standalone module for that. But I could also have it run as part of the champion management platform. And what that looks like is as simple as if I go and select Enable Tournament of Teams, we're going to go and stand up the list required to store the data for Tournament of Teams. In just a moment, we're going to be told that the list has been completed and that Tournament of Teams is ready. And Tournament of Teams will then allow the champions inside of this champion management platform to go and create tournaments that then could be advertised out to others in the organization. So great, the Tournament of Teams has been created, and kind of similar to how we customize and change values inside a champion management platform, you'll see the same flow in this application. We won't dive into it now since we're pretty specific on champion management platform, but right, that's the next level of where you could step once you get the champion management platform deployed. So with that, we have now successfully deployed our champion management platform. We've added a member. We've made them a manager of the platform so they could also help us administer it. We talked about how you could customize the fields that are brought into the add member portion, so you could capture the own unique metadata you would like against those champions. And then we talked about ways that you could configure some of the other UI elements, whether it's the champion management platform application logo, or managing the event types that are out there. Again, it's all done from either the SharePoint list that we deploy out and hold the data in, or from the UI in this platform. Again, hopefully this was helpful in helping you see how to go both install and configure the platform. This is, if you haven't experienced yet, a custom app in Teams. So it's a great first start to see the power and potential of what you can do with applications and Teams, and how you could really make this your own and really start to customize it even further to bring other elements into it. So again, if you have any questions, please do visit our main site, aka.ms/M365CMP. And from there, you can get to the GitHub site to ask any technical questions. Or again,